Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models and welcome to part 2 of our advanced inbox review of the Spitfire Mark 1 by Eduard 148 scale. Now I have been moving along with the building. I've done the cockpit section and we'll take a look and see what problems we've got, or should we say lack of problems. Here is our cockpit area just here, hopefully, as you can see. No real problems putting this together at all. As you can see though, it is full of bags and bags of detail in there. All these little bits that come together really sort of builds it up and makes it look like a really good cockpit. You've probably noticed though, I haven't put any sort of photo etch or anything in there, so you know, this would look even better with all the enhancements of the photo etch that comes with the kit, as well as you can buy a resin cockpit. You can buy their new look stuff to really have a cool instrument display panel, but all looking rather good. One thing to note, and that was in the instructions, if I get them the right way around, I did find this bit was a little bit confusing just down here. This is sort of like the structure of the cockpit, and because we've got loads and loads of different versions and different markings we can choose from, there was lots of different ones to choose from, and it got a little bit confusing in this bit just here. So really sort of read it, sort of, you know, really think about it, because for instance, stupid little things, you know, like R59, it is saying to place it into R23 just there. It doesn't say to place it into any of the others, R24, R26, or any of these, which was sort of a little bit confusing. You kind of have to sort of double check yourself and make sure that R59, this piece here, does actually go into all of them. A little bit confusing, but you do get there in the end. Apart from that, everything was, you know, quite easy to follow and to build. Next thing, not really a fit issue, but something to take care of, and that was a little bit of ejector pin marks, which we just got just at the back here in the tail section. Basically what I had to do is, if we bring it together, it didn't quite close up, it left a little bit of gap, and that was just down to a little ejector pin mark. I've already removed it, but that was just sticking out, protruding just enough that it kind of made a gap. So a little bit of a sanding just there, and that will sort out any sort of gap problems. Apart from that, if we sort of bring this together, the cockpit does fit nicely in here, really sort of nice and snug, and the actual two fuselage halves do come together rather well, which, if I can just get it to go in, it does go rather well. Hopefully, as you can see, fitting in there really nice and snug, and looking rather cool inside there. So I'm going to continue building this and get back to you if I find any more problems. So fuselage gone together rather nice, as you can see, no real problems there. Slight fit issue, again these are only slight fit issues, is just here when placing our top wing half on top of the other. We do get like a bit of a gap going on just here and here. Just a little bit of sanding. I'll quickly sort of show you where. All you need to do is a nice bit of sanding just in this area here. We'll get rid of a gap, and just here as well, all the way along here, like so. A little bit of a sanding there should get rid of your gaps, and it should fit a lot nicer. Now we come to the part where we actually bring our fuselage half to our wing section. Not the best of fits, could be better, but you know, I'll show you how to get around this. Now the problem we have might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but if we sort of, hopefully maybe get some light in here as well, a bit of extra light, hopefully what you can sort of see is the actual wing section just here is lifting up a little bit, and it's creating a step, right? It's coming up that little smidge, which is not sort of the best. So what I've had to do is I've done the old trick where we get some Tamiya masking tape, and what we do is we sort of get the wings and push them up a little bit, right? Just push them up a little bit to make it fit a little bit better. But I have found that you need to apply some sort of pressure on the wing to sort of squash it down and get rid of that little sort of step that's coming up. So hopefully you can sort of see down here now that that has been sort of squashed down, and we've got rid of this little step that we can see just here. Now I have used these F clamps, sorry they've gone sort of disappeared from the internet and everything, but some sort of a clamp just to squash it down should do the trick rather nicely. And I've already glued this side in, and it does seem to be quite good. I have noticed as well we've got a little bit of a gap, if we can get you to focus, a little sort of gap just there, slightly this side. That's going to need a bit of filling and everything, so not quite the best fit. But as long as you sort of like use some proper techniques, test fit it first, get everything sort of squashed down and pushed up a little bit, it should end up kind of going together nicely if you sort of, you know, follow these little tips and tricks I've shown you. So we've come across our first big fit issue, and with most of this together now, I think this is going to be probably the biggest problem of this kit, which is a bit of a shame. I was hoping for it to be a bit more like the Mk.I, and it was absolutely gorgeous, but this has got a fit problem. Now, as you just saw me do, I've came along with the F clamps to actually clamp this down and sort of press down on it so as we squash down that top wing section, so as we don't have a step, because we was having a step right here. This was lifting up a little bit, and to correct that I'll put the F clamps on. But actually now that I've glued it and I've removed the F clamps, I've found out that that actually kind of wasn't the best way to go about it. Sadly I've already done it, but hopefully by now sort of addressing this is going to be something that you guys are going to know when you build yours. This is an area you need to take care of and how to go about it, because what has happened, if we bring you in, it's really kind of bad actually, because I've pressed down on it. You can actually see that we've ended up having a bit of a crack in the plastic. I've had to basically apply so much pressure here going across there with our F clamps to get rid of this step that was running along there, that we've actually ended up with a crack, and a crack on both sides, right, which basically ruins the model in all honesty. Yes, we could fill it and sand it out, but Eduard did this fantastic lovely surface detail that to kind of, you know, re-rivet all that is kind of a bit of a pain. You don't want to be going down that route. So what has basically been happening here is on the underneath here we've built all this wheel well doors, right, which is all of this stuff going on just here. If we sort of bring you out, or maybe use the top cam, sorry, if you sort of take a look, we've got all these pieces here in which we build up our wheel well walls, right? And what is kind of more evident now that I've done it is that these wheel well walls are actually too high, and because they're too high, they're pushing that top wing section up, creating that step between the wing and the fuselage. And the best way I should have gone about it, but now I know, is that what we should have done is we should have sanded the tops of those wheel well walls down, and then test fitted the top wing section, then, you know, keep sanding, test fit, sanding, and bring it down so as that top wing actually fits perfectly, rather than doing what I did was apply the pressure, because as much as that pressure normally works, obviously I've had to apply so much pressure that we've ended up having a crack in it. So the best way to go about it is, the problem is those wheel well walls, get them sanded down so as you don't get a step, and it should be all good. But hopefully the whole point of these advanced inbox reviews here is so as you can build a perfect model. I can make the mistakes because this is kind of like just a scrap model. Hopefully I can make all the mistakes so you get it just right, so you now know and you're aware of that fit issue.